welcome to a brief introduction on the mole. The mole is probably one of the most important topics in chemistry because it provides us a way to compare reactants or different compounds and how they're going to react and what they're going to produce. It gives us a way to actually do the mathematics, the calculation of chemical reactions. So the mole is going to be huge to us. And so let's suppose that I give you an example and I ask you to find the number of moles, in, let's say, 42.0 grams of sodium sulfate. Now, the way we do this is using the periodic table. It provides us with a means to find a conversion factor, to be able to convert grams to mole, or conversely, moles to grams. So the very first thing that we need to do is we need to find out the molar mass. Using your periodic table, let's look at our compound. So we've got sodium sulfate. I have 2 sodiums. So if I look in the periodic table, I see that the molar mass of sodium is 22.99. And I've got 1 sulfur. And so 1 sulfur has a mass of 32.07. And I've got 4 oxygens, each at 16. I'm going to sum those up, and I get a molar mass of 142.05 grams of sodium sulfate in 1 mole. If I have 1 mole. All right, so now my question was, I want to know how many moles are in 42 grams. So just looking at the numbers, you should be able to tell I don't have a whole mole. In fact, I've got about a third of a mole, okay, because I need 142 grams to get a whole mole, and I've only got 42. So let's take a look at this, and I'm going to start with what I was given, and I was given the fact that I have 42.0 grams of sodium sulfate. That's what I have. But I want to find out how many moles that I have. So it's just a conversion. Just like if I asked you how many inches were in 3 feet, you would know that, you know what, there's 12 inches in a foot. I'm going to multiply the 3 feet by 12, and that's going to give you 36 inches. Same exact idea. So I'm going to multiply it by a conversion factor. And my conversion factor is simply going to be how I set up my molar mass, this guy. Okay? Now I want to find out how many moles that I have, so I need to put the moles in the numerator. So I'm going to just flip this and put 1 mole in the numerator, 1 mole of sodium sulfate, and it's got a mass of 142.05 grams. Now from a unit standpoint, this is really important. The grams of sodium sulfate's in the numerator, the grams of sodium sulfate over here is in the denominator. What will happen to these if I have 1 in the numerator and I have 1 in the denominator? And hopefully you recognize that they are going to cancel each other out. Now we have to do the calculator part. So make sure you have a calculator. Any numbers that are in the numerator you're going to multiply. So the only numbers I have is 42.0 and 1, so I'd multiply those together. Any numbers in the denominator, I'm going to divide. So all I'm going to do is take 42 and divide that by the 142.05, and that's going to give me 0.296. And that'll be how many moles, of sodium sulfate I have present. And which is just about a third, just like what we approximated. But now I will know how much material I have so that I can compare it with other substances. Good luck!